What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast, the official podcast of the Geeks and Company. This is the Geek Boutique. We are the Geeks and Company, or at least a couple of the geeks. As always, Aka.
It's a lot. Wow, it's a lot of
Pointing. It's a lot of pointing.
It is a lot of pointing. You do like to point, motherfucker. Do you like to point?
How you doing, Mr. Jeff? You know, I just want to say we're all a bunch of tired old men here this week, okay? So I'm warning you, if the energy's a little bit on the low side, we're all extremely busy, and it's all been, Rob's on vacation, but,
my energy's still pretty low, right?
Yeah. There you go. So, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
Good. Yeah. Obviously, like we've talked about ad infinitum since it started. Busy, just with the weekends and the filming, the show. It's really is 7 days a week right now. So I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not. It's cool, right? But I have a newfound respect for actors. It's a lot. It's very mentally overwhelming to remember all these lines and hit all these scenes and interact with the people that I'm interacting with, and don't get in front of the light and make sure the sound's good and where's the camera at, and remember your lines and hit your marks and say those same lines exactly the same way 4 times from this angle, then do it the same way from this angle, then do it the same way from this. It's a lot, man. So for those of you that are like, oh, actors have it so good, they're complaining that they work hard and shit. I've probably said that a few times. Here's me eating some crow, man. It's when you're the lead, it's a lot of fucking work mentally, and yeah, I'm not done with it. I'm enjoying it, but it's Rob. You're on 3 weeks of vacation. I could suck your dick right now, man. I am so jealous. Just to get the taste of vacation from you, sir. That would be amazing. How is that working? How did you get 3 weeks off, bro?
I've been with my employer now almost 20 years, so
good for you.
It's added up over the years.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, I was lucky enough to. I had some at the end of June, beginning of July, and some kind of mid-July, and then I said, why don't I just connect the dots? And
hell yes,
take a nice breather, recharge. Everybody's got to recharge once in a while. It's important.
No, I agree.
Or we go crazy at work. Bad things happen.
Can't wait to do some active filming with you in the future, Jeff. Absolutely, freakish. Hey, man, I am always up for some projects. By all means, please contact my agent. He'll get in touch with your people, and we can discuss numbers.
Okay, freakish has my number.
It's just Jeff in another voice. You reached Jeff's agent. How may I help you?
This is what his flat rate hourly is. Well. This is Michael Icon. Recharging. What is that? Say Tiffany. Mesmerizing scripts is a struggle. Ken Geeks Games. Yeah. It's been not a bigger struggle than I thought it would be, but it's a lot. There's no question there. And the editor is on set too, by the way, guys. The editor is also our cameraman, so he's real picky about.
Oh, no pressure.
And movements,
right?
Scene to scene to scene. Like if you reached up and scratched your ear in the first take, you're doing that on every fucking take at the same time, and it's going to be a minimum of 10 to 12 takes per, because there's different camera angles you got to hit and everything else. So, woo. Anyways, I'm not going to bore everyone. I'm going to bore the tits of everyone on how to shoot a TV show. It's just been a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Anyways. Michael Icon, well, Andre, greetings and salutations, y'all. What's going on? Victoria Brown, hello, fellow nerds. Victoria's in early.
There's in the chat.
Early for Victoria. Cheers, guys. Hope you guys are having a good week on your own. Is there anything going on this weekend? It feels like we're in the thick of it, right? Like
Montreal, I know we're not this weekend, isn't it?
Oh, fuck around. That's right, Montreal. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's getting ready for Montreal and little jelly.
Yeah.
I wish I was going, although it's not a good time, especially not.
None of us are in a position where we could go to.
This year. No, but I'm jealous, man. I really want to go to this con. I keep hearing how
especially
fun it is
you, dude.
And yeah, it's kind of like my home con.
That's what and you've never been,
and I've never been.
Yeah, that's
right.
Wild.
So yeah,
you come to my home con, but you don't go to your own home con.
I've been to your home con 5 times.
5? Is it 5? It's been a lot. Yeah. It's been at least 3 anyway. Game X in Mississauga this Sunday, apparently. I was not familiar with. There you
Oh, that's this
Cool.
Sunday. That's right. That's
I
right.
feel like
You
we're
know,
robbing
people there.
Rob of all his community.
Well, there's half of the community news. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I thought we weren't supposed to do it anyway.
Well, then
And
stuff
he's like, but
comes
it's
up.
con season now.
I really want to do Montreal at some point. I wish I was getting ready for Montreal. Yeah. What we need to do is we need to rent a bus.
Yeah, we said it
didn't
last
talk
week,
about this
right?
last week.
Party
Who
bus.
had the thing? Who were we talking to that had the bus, that had access to the bus? Who was that?
Was it Natasha? I think it would have been Natasha.
Natasha, that's correct. Natasha said
Let's
she
get a
could get us
plug
a bus.
for a bus.
Yeah, man, get us a bus.
Company
I'm down. I'm down to take a bus. I don't want to drive. I don't want to take a train.
That'd be cool. And you know,
Loaded.
Montreal is only like 5 hours, right? So
From
We
you.
well, yeah, fair enough. From Toronto. I mean,
Yeah. It ain't
We-
5 from here.
We are the center of everything. So
That's right.
well, you know,
that's your problem.
chartering a bus from London, then yeah, it's a little bit
You're gonna
longer.
have to leave a little earlier.
You guys been told today? What are you guys talking about? What's going on with you guys? There's a bunch of you in the chat right now. There's Keith as well. So thanks everyone once again for joining us this Thursday. We did make a little bit of a boo-boo on the I guess the promotion for this particular episode. We thought this week was going to be with Kid Remington and Can Cosplay Cards talking about what they do and how they do it. And I know we've had Kid on before, don't get me wrong, but they've got some new stuff in the works and some big stuff that they're trying to get some messages out and some news out. That's actually going to be next week, guys. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Kid's a very well-spoken guy who does a lot for the community. So we want to make sure that we're supporting him in any way, shape.
That's my fault.
That's okay. I wasn't going to say that. We all knew that, but I wasn't going to say it out loud. So
yeah. You know,
I'm driving to Montreal on my way to New Brunswick in September. Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
I've driven out that way myself. If you've never driven out there, Quebec is a giant flat province, and it's real boring after Montreal and Quebec City. On the highway, sir, there's nothing out there, man. You get past Montreal before you get to New Brunswick on the highway, it's just flat nothing.
Well, I guess if you're going north, yeah, along the I guess so. Because
Yeah,
if you're going towards where I live, like we're like literally in a mountain range.
Right.
There's nothing flat about the part of Quebec where I'm from. But
Wow.
yeah, I suppose going towards New Brunswick, perhaps. Yeah.
It's not great.
So much so that the first time I went through there, the only time I went through there, I was like, "Is there supposed to be mountains here?" And then there's like off in the distance, there's a hill.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
on the from the highway?
From the highway, nothing.
Faux pas. Montreal is not 5 hours away, Michael Icon says, who's in downtown Toronto, I would like to point out. So
That was Montreal, not 5 hours away.
Toronto is 5 hours away from Toronto.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair, the point taken. I mean, you know,
here I'm gonna Google Maps pick what's a landmark in Montreal that I would choose to go to. Where do they have Montreal Comic Con? Where is it?
I'll
Is
tell you right
it
now.
at the? Well, I'll just go to the Bell Center because I know that's.
Are you like punching it
Where
in
they do
Google
the
Maps
hockey.
and give me the time? The
From where I am
directions?
now.
Classe Bonaventure.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll Google map it for you.
7 hour drive from where I'm at. So I mean, I guess if it's 2 hours to Toronto, then I could see how it would be 5 hours to,
Yeah,
depending on now. 2 hours to Toronto. That's not terribly indicative. Like Toronto, there's a lot of Toronto, so I guess Michael's probably right. Depends on where you are.
So I got 4 hours, 37 minutes from where I am.
There you go. 4 and a
How long
half.
did you say?
4
7?
hours? How long?
4 hours, 37 minutes.
Yeah,
Now,
there
you
go.
guys are on the other
5.
side of Toronto, though.
Other,
right?
yeah, we have
Yeah.
a head start. Yeah.
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 Do
Without
some Charbel,
construction,
that's what I did.
for
I'll
sure.
tell you.
Without construction, of course. I mean, it's, you know, especially when you get to the Quebec side, which the roads fucking suck. So there's always a lot of construction going on in Montreal, and that's what really kills traffic. Like traffic's bad, but the construction really kills the traffic.
Yep.
Luckily, when we go home, we can skip Montreal. There's another bridge that we take across, and we don't ever even go into Montreal. So, yeah.
Well, that's probably why when I'm driving through there, I don't see all these mountains that you're talking about because you guys are like,
We're like southeasts, and you're going northeast.
sure,
You're going to New Brunswick. Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Fascinating.
only fly to Montreal now. Says Michael. Well,
You can do the Montreal drive overnight early in the morning. Oh, I'm sure.
you know, it's actually in the middle of the evening. If I'm doing the drive alone, I want to do it in the middle of the night.
Right.
100%. And then I just fly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same when
tunes, 5 hour energy, put the foot
when
down,
Crazy Mike and I
right?
leave London and we're driving to Toronto, especially for Fan Expo, we're leaving at the crack of ass. Like, there's no way you can't hit Toronto during rush hour because you're just an idiot. It's not good.
No.
Wow, this first 10 minutes of the podcast has been genius, guys. I can't believe you guys are all still here right now. Wow.
I know, right?
How long did it take to drive to Montreal? Let's debate for 5 hours. Oh, no, that's the time it takes to drive there.
It's okay. We do have a geek debate for everybody later, and we mentioned it on last week's podcast. If everybody remembers, it's going to get heated in here, I think. Specifically in the chat is going to get heated.
So you've made an intro for Geek Debates?
I have not, unfortunately.
So disappointed.
Unfortunately. Again,
Silky,
I haven't had the time.
Silky, if you're watching this,
I've not had the time.
Please hook us up.
Hey, Silky, yeah. Hey, if you can throw a geek debate little intro for us.
Yeah. Let me throw her a little bit of a bone here because she helps us out so much. I have been checking out her streams. So our Goyle Silky is on Twitch. Twitch.tv, guys. Silky C is what she's on Twitch. So her stream is fantastic. Go check her out for sure. After you're done checking us out here.
Yeah, and she's created a bunch of shorts recently that I just haven't had a chance to upload to YouTube yet. But if you go check out her shorts, I mean, there's already probably like hundreds of little shorts that she's made over the last year or so. So go check them out. Some of them are pretty funny, to say nonetheless. Are we still going to hear the community's intro, even though we spoiled it? I mean, if we get a special request, how can we refuse? That being said, I don't think it's time for community. That could be wrong.
I don't think so.
You know what time it is?
Dramatic.
Is it time for
You know what time it is? It's time.
If you're listening, by the way, to the podcast instead of watching, you just saw three old men just like nap for 5 seconds. Like,
you take this.
Just enter a fugue state. Christ.
That's okay, because it's time for the news.
It's the news brought to you by Advil, something these three old fucks know something about. Not that much going on in the news sphere, guys. The big piece of news that came out, though, of course, is we finally have a script for The Batman Part 2. It was due to be turned in at the end of June. It was turned in by the end of June. Matt Reeves, the writer and director himself, posted on his social media, along with his writing partner, whose name escapes me and everybody else right now, that the script has been turned in. Interestingly, as an addendum to that, even though it has been turned in, and has been turned in now for over a week, James Gunn hasn't read it yet. Now, of course, the Batman universe is separate from the DCU, like it is sort of a pocket universe, but Peter Safran, the producing partner, and James Gunn still oversee all things DC as far as that goes. DC Studios is what they run, not just the DCU. So I'm kind of waiting to hear some kind of a reaction from James Gunn. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be like, this is shit, it's trash, we're going to redo it. But I want to kind of find out his take since we've waited 5.5 years for this script to finally get finished. And guys, all we have is a script. Like that's it.
First draft of it.
So yeah, don't be thinking that we're going to be seeing this movie anytime soon. You're probably a minimum 2 years out before you're still going to see this film. Someone said the other day, I think it was me, that Robert Pattinson is going to be the same age that Ben Affleck was when he was first hired as Batman, to be an old grizzled Batman. So, anyways, the script is in. We're hitting the ground running. We have been talking all about Bond lately, just only because there's been a lot of Bond news coming out, and they've released a I know they've released. Sometimes the hubris in Hollywood just it kind of like, hey, we did some focus groups and we wanted to see what was tracking well. This feels like one of those. Some rumored casting for the likes of the new James Bond. One of the names came up is Tom Holland. Now, no, I mean, listen, I'm trying to be open-minded. I really am. I'm a Bond guy. I will fully admit, not all of them are winners, especially during the Craig run. He looks 12. Like, how do you make this guy? Like, is it his teenage years? Like, is it going to be called young James? Like, I don't know how you would make a guy that's 5'4" and slight and even for his age, still very young looking. On top of that, I don't know how you make that guy a suave, smooth, debonair, international man of mystery. You know what I mean? Like, hit me up in the chat, guys. Would you cast Tom? Like, make the argument for Tom Holland as James Bond? Because, I couldn't see Michael Keaton as Batman, and Brother Slade it. So maybe I'm just dumb, but I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Andre is saying, I suspect we'll see another Batman-related miniseries on HBO before Batman 2. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I nominate Bruce Campbell as the new Bond. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean,
old Bond, but yeah.
I can't imagine. I have a feeling this news is one of those news where somebody heard something and misinterpreted it, and then tried to parrot it, and then it came out crooked, and then it wasn't the same thing anymore. And are they potentially talking to Tom Holland for a role in the new James Bond movie? Potentially. Are they actually talking about making him James Bond? I have a hard time believing there's any kind of.
They are apparently looking to cast it as a younger James Bond. So I think that is the direction they're trying to go here, as a younger James Bond. But Tom Holland doesn't fit that for me whatsoever.
No.
So
we'll see what happens, guys. Keep your fingers crossed that we don't get Spider Bond, as far as that goes. New trailer dropped for the new interpretation of The Running Man.
Yes.
If you're unfamiliar, Stephen King took on a pseudonym, so a fake name for a while. Stephen King had read something in a paper of a critic that said Stephen King could publish his laundry list and people would buy it because it said Stephen King on it. So Stephen King created a fake guy called Richard Bachman and released 5 books as Richard Bachman, and one of them was
they were all fire.
And one of them was The Running Man. There's another movie about to come out too that's also based on a Bachman book called The Long Walk, but this is based on The Running Man. And of course, it was famously an Arnie actioner back in the 90s. The key to that was, though, the Arnie movie was a pretty big departure from the source material. It's a great film, but it's kind of there in name only as far as how it relates to this interpretation. Was
premise is the same.
What's that?
That's it. The premise is the same.
Right.
The whole game show thing, but that's it.
Even then, even that premise really gets sort of turned on its side, and it's not executed the same by any stretch of the imagination. The new film, from the initial readings that I'd heard, was supposed to be much closer to the book. It's not, but it's definitely different than the film.
Yeah,
the initial film. So Glenn Powell is starring, and it looks very campy, very like action oriented, very like, it looks like it's just like once he starts running, I mean, he's just running a lot. So I'm curious as to your guys' interpretation. JS, you reacted very strongly. Have you seen the trailer?
I have.
And what did you think?
I loved the Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man. As silly as it was, and I know it really was nothing like the book. I loved The Running Man, and although this is not a remake of that, I kind of get like the Bruce Campbell movie type
Evil Dead kind of feel,
right? Where
manic was the word I was coming up with as I was watching it. I'm like, this is just nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously excited about this one. The trailer looks good. I like the trailer. I'm not gonna lie. It made me excited to see the movie.
Have you watched the trailer yet, Rob?
I have not.
No,
I don't even think I've not read the book. I haven't seen the original movie. I know nothing about this particular one.
Oh yeah, The Running Man was a big 80s movie. Big 80s, like blockbuster action. Like it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right?
Yeah.
Like,
at the height of his popularity.
Yeah. So
I will say this, that if you are like me, if you're it looks over the top saying King of Games, if you're a fan of the
100%.
Looks ass, says Christina. So I'm actually a little bit more on Christina's side. I thought it looked really silly and really dumb, but the book itself is much grimmer and darker and dystopian. It's not some big, huge action over the top book. The book is kind of depressing. I'm not going to lie. And I think it might have worked better if they just stuck to the book and made it this taut, still action, but more like more on the John Wick side of action. Even not even that. That's not even a good example. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but just grimmer and darker as opposed to the absolute batshit craziness that's going on in that trailer. But again, we'll see, guys. I don't know. It should be interesting. I didn't see what the release date for that was, though. I apologize, but go check out the trailer if you haven't already.
Running Man would have led itself good to more of a horror action style, like a World War Z style, or like that type of
yeah, Purge is not bad.
Purge,
yeah. Like they kind of hit it a little bit. Like he is a desperate man. His child needs medicine, and he goes on this rigged game show type thing, and he's got to survive while the whole country's after him. All of that's absolutely straight from the book. It's the execution from there past that where he's doing all these crazy stunts and all these explosions. None of that happens in the book. So it's a much more like The Fugitive. The Fugitive, that chasing Harrison Ford. That's much more what the book was like, only in a dystopian future where, anyways. If you haven't read the book, it's not a long read. I actually recommend checking the book out because it's very, very good. Excuse me. Speaking of release, Jurassic World is apparently they just get why are we still making Jurassic movies? And then I find out it's supposed to debut globally to almost $300 million. I'm like, oh, that's why we're still making Jurassic movies, because clearly people are still going to see Jurassic movies. I don't know. Is anybody now? This is another sort of soft reboot,
correct? Right.
So the Jurassic Park movies were on the first island, where the sort of I don't know what the preserve the park was. The second set of films, the first they were called Jurassic World 2, weren't they?
No, Jurassic Park.
That was the first set of films. The one with Chris Pratt, weren't they? Jurassic World. Well?
Yes, Jurassic World. Yeah.
So those were on the second island per se type thing, right? Which was more the research island. This is supposed to be on the third island, which was where all the sort of the rejects went, the mistakes that were made, sort of thing in the research and development process. So Scarlett Johansson starring in this one. Obviously, they're going to hope to make it a franchise, and if it does open that big and maintains that, I can't see how it would not be a new franchise. Is this horse not dead yet though? Like, are we still making dinosaur movies? Like, I love Jurassic Park, the first one. I haven't liked a single one anywhere near as much since that first one. Haven't we lost the fascination for dinosaurs on screen? This feels like Transformers. What are we doing? Is anybody excited for Jurassic World? Is anybody going to go see it? Like, are you guys pumped for another Jurassic movie, or is Jurassic?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go see it in theaters. I'll watch it when I can download it or stream it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't think they've waited long enough to reboot this. I guess this isn't a reboot, really. But
I feel like it's a soft reboot, kind of like the initial World movies. Like they're paying homage to the original films, but they're not. But they're going on a whole new track, kind of thing. You know what I mean? With new stars,
new actors.
Yeah.
So I don't think they waited long enough for people to care anymore, enough as they could, right? Like
the reviews are actually very good. People are saying this might be like in the top 3 best Jurassic Park movies.
The Jurassic World Rebirth reviews are in. No, it's 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. So not quite as low as it's been. Dominion was the lowest, but it is scoring better than Jurassic Park 3. So it is one of the better sequels for that scoring goes, but that's because most of the sequels have been kind of dog shit. So, hey, guys, maybe it's awesome. I have no idea. Who knows? Gareth Edwards is the guy that is directing it, who I think is the guy that did Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you all seem to love that mid movie. So maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I don't have any desire to watch. I'm like Rob. Will I watch it when it comes out on streaming? Yeah, probably. Will I rush to the theater to see it? Absolutely not. No.
Do we want to? So it is obviously it's July now, and we've got these big 3 movies coming out this month.
Yeah.
Do we want to make a prediction here as to which one's gonna make the most money? Is it obvious? Want to call it now? Any interest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Which one's gonna win July? Let us know in the chat if you got opinions.
You're gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna say potentially Jurassic World.
You think Jurassic World's gonna?
I think it might. I feel like there's too many. So I know this is dumb, I'm not saying that they're right. I'm just saying that there are too many people that are still jaded about the whole Henry Cavill thing and that are like boycotting Gunn's Superman, right? So I think that's going to hurt it. Fantastic Four, I'm worried it's going to be dog shit. I'm very, 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 very worried about that movie. And as cool as it looks visually, the trailers don't hype me up for the movie. They make me kind of cringe a little bit, especially the acting. There's something about the acting that I'm having a hard time with. And what's up with the fucking it's clubbering time? Like, why are they making such a big deal about a phrase that's like 75 years old?
They gotta.
Like, I don't understand why they're making such a big deal. Oh, I don't even say that. Okay, fine. Okay.
It's the Disney formula.
I'm very worried and I'm very sad because I was really, really hoping when I started seeing the production stills and the visual style, and I was like, oh, this could be fucking wicked. Like, this could be something completely different. But the more trailers that I see, the more I'm like, this is looking cringe and cringier every time I see it.
What about you, Rob?
Thank you for segueing us away from that. Superman. I got my money on Superman.
So do I. And I think a lot of that's like in here. Like I'm not like, judging that with here.
Dreams, yeah.
I really am. I'm very, very hopeful. They're certainly not sparing any expense on the marketing for that movie. It's fucking everywhere. It feels like Batman did back when '89 when Batmania hit and the bat symbol was everybody was talking about it. It feels like I can't go on social media. I can't look at a straight, like I can't go anywhere without seeing something to do with Superman. It's clear Warner's is really behind this and they're trying to push it as this new universe and the first superhero ever. So, but maybe I'm just too hopeful. Like why do you think Superman's going to outperform the other two?
I don't know exactly why. We've already we already touched on the Jurassic Park. Like, do we need another one of those? Right? Like, it feels like every 2 years we're getting one.
Yeah. Do you have the same?
How much money did it make this weekend?
It hasn't yet. It's due to open this weekend. Actually, I think it opened today, Wednesday. No, yesterday. They're predicting about 125 to 130 million opening weekend domestic and another 130 globally. So 260 for its opening weekend, which, by the way, would actually put it on the low side for Jurassic movies. But that's still $260 million opening for a movie that only cost them $180 million to make. It's going to make money. There's no question there. It's going to make money, right? So
the marketing for Superman's been spot on, says Geek Games. Yeah, I mean, the marketing's been crazy. I haven't seen this type of marketing around a movie in a long time.
Yeah,
around Superman.
Yeah,
exactly. Fantastic Four, like. And it's not so much a commentary on the movie itself, but they've had a string of misses lately, right? Like, I know a lot of people have just completely tuned out now. They're over Marveled, and
that's what the Geek Games is saying too. Marvel has had too many misses.
Yeah,
they've kind of where DC was for that time, right? They kind of lost the trust of the audience because it's just had too many bad movies in a row. Where the audience was like, listen, we were coming out to see anything with Superman and Batman in it, but you burned us, so we're done spending money on your shit movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It kind of feels a little bit like we're there, but
so I think,
hey guys, everyone, what's going on? Mr. Midlife Cosplay, good to see you.
What's up, Richard?
My apprentice, Darth Maul. We're just talking about, what do you think? Go ahead, Richard. What's your opinion on this? If between the three movies this summer in July, Rob was asking us, Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four, who wins July? Who's going to have the biggest box office? So Victoria hit it too. Yeah, kids know Superman more than F4, so I feel like that might move the needle towards Superman too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think the kids in general really care about superheroes anymore. That's kind of the problem we're having right now. That's not on our generation thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of them are so targeted towards the kids, so you got to win the kids is the key, right? Like, they're going to get our money. You've got to have kids dragging parents to go see these films. Otherwise, there's no point, right? So, and you'll notice. Sorry, go ahead.
Rob, you tell me. You ask your boys which movie of these three they want to go see. Which movie are they asking for?
Probably none of them.
Probably none of them. It would probably be a chore to take them.
Right?
I mean, not a chore. They'll go see it, but
yeah, but they're not clamoring you. Yeah, no one's banging on your office door going, Dad, 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 we need tickets for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the other way around. Like, guys, you're coming with me to Superman.
Yeah. So Richard's
that's
saying
where we're missing out.
Dinos, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're the superhero genre specifically right now. I think is, or the comic book movie genre right now. I think is not tapping into the kids. The kids aren't hyped about it, and I think that's why we're starting to see the numbers dwindle.
No, dude, Star Wars is the same way. Andor is this great adult show. Yeah,
but it's not good for the brand.
Do you think kids love Andor? Do you think any kids are watching Andor? Andor can win all the awards at once. If you don't capture kids' imagination to bring to your fantasy sci-fi realm to have them buy toys and watch shit, you're not doing it right, man.
Yeah, no kids are buying Ma and Mothma faction figures, right?
No.
Like,
I'm not here to shit on Andor, by the way. I know you guys love it. It's fine. I'm not gonna. Continuing on with the news, though, since we got way off on a tangent with Jurassic World, I did not expect to happen. I mentioned this, I think, a few podcasts ago. There is a Street Fighter movie coming, guys. So with the recent success, remember a time, cast your mind back, folks. Remember a time where you couldn't make a decent movie based on a video game? Like they were just all shit every single time. There's been some wins in the last, say, 5 years of video game adaptations into movies and TV shows. Not all of them were wins, but enough that they're like, we'll almost do anything now. And part of that almost doing anything is Street Fighter, a game that hasn't really been relevant in a long, long time. But casting is definitely underway, and some of the casting confirmed. Blanca is going to be played by Jason Momoa. They just announced David Dastmalchian will be Bison, M. Bison. Roman Reigns, 50 Cent, Andrew Schultz. Apparently, Cody Rhodes is in talks to play Guile. So the cast looks absolutely bonkers. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting, what was that one that just came out that had Kate Blanchett and Kevin Hart? Borderlands. I'm kind of getting Borderlands vibe from this, which I didn't see Borderlands, but I'm not alone because nobody else saw it either because that bombed. So I'm a little worried for this Street Fighter movie. I don't know what this could possibly look like without it looking like dog shit. Like they were able to revitalize the Mortal Kombat franchise on screen because we have another one of those coming, and the first one did well enough to lend a second one. But I don't know, man. How do you? I don't know. The casting is underway. Like this movie's happening, guys. It's being actively cast with some big name actors getting in there and getting involved. So I don't know, man.
It'll be interesting to see how they can come up with a story that makes sense, and that I think has always been the problem of the fighting game adaptations.
Right. Yeah.
There is no story in a fighting game. No. Right? It's a fighting tournament. Like, how do you make that into a movie, right?
Yeah, and at least with Mortal Kombat, you get that like sci-fi fantasy element because it's happening like in another realm, and there's all these
world
creatures. And, you know what I mean? So at least you can incorporate all that and lend itself to backstory in different environments. But Street Fighter is just like, like just people flying all over the world fighting weird-looking dudes. Like I don't. It seems like this is the IP that's just been sitting there languishing, and people are like, we can't just let this go to waste. We have to. You tried making a movie out of this once. It was dog shit. I can't see it. I can't imagine this not being dog shit as well, especially with this weird eclectic cast. But maybe I'm wrong, guys. Maybe it'll be great. I think it's going to be another Borderlands, but we'll see. By the way, if you've seen Borderlands, shout out in the chat. Let me know. Was that movie as bad as it was? Because I feel like I want to download it just to see how bad it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to watch on Netflix, so and that one's looking tempting. So,
brother, I love Kate Blanchett. I would have told you I'd watch almost anything with Kate Blanchett, but I mean, I don't know if I'll watch that. Like, I feel like Meatloaf in that, but I won't do that. Like, I don't know. It looks bad. Finally, guys, unfortunately, we got
saying I saw Borderlands. Can't remember any of it.
Well, so there you go. Who said that?
Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks so bad. Who's going to play Bison? David Dastmalchian, Andre. So he's been kicking around Hollywood for a long time. He was the Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. He was in The Dark Knight. He was in. He's literally been in Hollywood for 20 years. He's been a character actor through all that time. He's going to play M. Bison, right? So in the original for me it was Tuesday. Yeah. So the original it was Raul Julia in the last role he ever played before he tragically passed away.
Yeah.
And he was the highlight of that film, but that film was dog shit. So
Not sure that even properly describes that movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. That
Yeah.
one?
Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile, and then I think Ming Na Wen was Chun-Li.
Chun-Li,
Yeah. No, it has some big names in it. It was just terrible. And by the way, that was at like the height of the video game's popularity. Now the video game isn't even popular anymore, so I don't know how you.
Yeah, that's a weird choice, right? Considering the video game's not had a video game in like decades.
Not every IP it has to be fully explored. Like maybe they could just be like, "Yeah, we took a crack at that once 20 years ago when it was popular," but maybe you could just let that go. And Hollywood's like, "No, so we will squeeze every fucking dime from this that we can." To end off the news today, guys, tragically note, Michael Madsen has been in a ton of movies. Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, I can't even, Hateful Eight, so many films, has tragically passed away at the age of 67, which is super, super young. I get the sense that Mr. Madsen maybe lived a pretty hard life, I want to say. He was definitely an interesting character. Yeah. I'm not saying he won't be missed. He absolutely will. I've loved a lot of the stuff he's done, even though he just kind of played Michael Madsen every time. But Michael Madsen was a cool MFer. So we are less of a Hollywood without him there. So I have not seen what he's passed away from. So I don't
know that they've actually.
It looked like I said cardiac arrest, like a heart attack.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. He was found dead at the age of 67. So that's pretty crazy. And that, unfortunately, guys, sorry to end on such a bummer note, is the news. If you've got news items that you would like to talk about, please go ahead and throw them in the chat or message us if there's something you want us to talk about next week. Our good friend Christina actually has been really good about messaging me stuff on my Instagram to be like, make sure you talk about this week, and make sure you talk about this week. Like, this is really big news in Hollywood and such. So if you see some news items come across your feed, I'm not omnipotent. I don't see everything. So please let me know. And I'll be happy to talk about it on the podcast if it is, in fact, newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I got.
It is the news.
That was the news.
Ta-da!
There wasn't much going on in the news. We've been doing the news for
There
almost
really
40
was.
minutes.
Well, to be fair, we did spend 12 minutes debating on how long a drive it is to Montreal. So,
that's fair. Okay, so maybe it wasn't a 40-minute news, but 28-minute news. You know what that means?
No, yeah. What does it mean?
Community news.
That's what that
There
means.
you go, fuckers. You got it.
Fuckers.
So I'm just about to open a nice can of Twin Suns.
Oh, yeah.
Before I cracked it open, I looked over, and this is a second edition 2024. Is that still going to be good? Do they put preservatives and shit in these? Like, is that?
Has it been?
We're gonna find out live on YouTube.
Has it been cold the whole time?
Probably not.
Jury says.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. I like how he didn't even spit.
Yeah.
He literally just opened it and raw dogged it right into his mouth, like no hesitation whatsoever.
I think I do like this year's better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This year's was definitely. This year's felt more complex, a little bit more like different flavors. I personally prefer that second year one a little bit more, but
really, eh?
I still have a decent amount left, says Tiffany Little. Oh, really, Tiffany? I feel like we should get together and help you drink some of those because I do not have any left. I was out very quickly after the events. Yeah. I'm calling that one.
This week's community news sponsored by the London Brewing Co-op
and the Twin Suns Brewery. Twin Suns Brewery.
Be sure to check out the best Star Wars Day event in all of Southern Ontario.
Oh yeah, Admiral Piet died as well. That's correct. Yeah, Admiral Piet. Cool.
All right, we're gonna run through what's going on right now in the month of July that I'm aware of. Montreal Comic Con is this weekend, as we talked about at the beginning of the show. I'm interested, as we saw Richard in the chat. Is Richard there now? Because I believe he's going.
I don't know.
Or let us know, Richard. Are you there now, or are you going to be there tomorrow?
I think he released his lineup. I think he said Saturday, Sunday on his post for his lineup.
Right. Okay, we will get the review from him as it develops.
Yeah,
maybe next week. Let us know how it went.
Also, Chantel and Nada are there right now.
Are they there now?
No, sorry, they're going up. I think they're going up tomorrow. I may be leaving tomorrow. You know what? I'm not sure anymore now. Now I'm doubting myself.
Thanks.
They're going to be there. Now I can't remember when they're going up.
Thank you for your contribution to this segment.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Also happening this weekend, a little more close to home. Game X taking place in Mississauga at the Grand Event and Banquet Center on Sunday. Lots of gaming obviously going on there. Video games, trading cards, cosplay competition, etc. Not going to be there, but our friends Capes and Chaos, I believe, are going to be there.
I think Freakish is going to be there.
Freakish is going to be there. He's going to be there at Game X this weekend?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure, lots of crew are going to be on and off at lots of these different places.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that I forgot about that. I forgot all month. Also happening in July, next weekend, the Bruce County Comic Con in Southampton, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Always looks like a fun little cottage con that I would like to go to one time.
Yep.
That's Saphira's area, isn't it?
I believe so.
I think she mentioned that's her local
That's her hood. Yeah.
That's her hood, yeah.
Yeah.
Southampton is where it takes place, guys. And I've said this before. It's a beautiful little tourist town. Gorgeous. Go check it out. Go check it out just for the tourism in the city, and then check out the podcast. Check out the Comic-Con as well. Yeah, fantastic.
I'm actually going to be up there next week, but I'm not going to be at the con, but I will be in the area.
Nice.
Coming up after that, VonCon, August 9th and 10th, which we are going to be at. I think it's the third stop on the Throne Tour. Our friends over at Capes and Chaos, they're actually having a contest for a pair of weekend passes to VonCon. So if you head over their Instagram page for the details of what to do and enter, you got to share something, tag a friend, make a comment, but you have a chance to win passes to all weekend because it's the first 2-day event they're doing VonCon on the 9th and 10th. So head over to Capes and Chaos, enter that contest.
Yeah, talking about VonCon, guys, if you're going to go to VonCon and you're going to be buying your tickets ahead of time, make sure you use code GEEKS when you check out. Get yourself 10% off. And come and see us. Come and say hi. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to have a bunch of people there. We're going to have the throne there. And you get 10% off your ticket price. So use code GEEKS at checkout. 10% off.
Dope. What else going on? Fan Expo coming up after that. We still don't have any update for that, do we? No update, no bueno?
Nothing that I've seen so far.
Okay. Haven't seen any updates from anyone else either, so we will let you know when we know. I did find it interesting, though. I was going to bring this up last week, but we didn't talk about Fan Expo, but Mike Tyson is going to be there. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that at all.
Mike Tyson as a guest. Unless I was getting trolled, but...
No. He's absolutely going to be there.
Pretty sure...
I can't wait to get my interaction with Mike.
You should do that. Yeah, you should go up to him and do that.
I should absolutely do that. Yes, and watch him lay me the fuck out in front of everybody.
Whatever it takes for the likes, Betty.
Do it for content, brother. I will absolutely do it for content. Hi, Mike. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you. You're such a great champion. Yeah.
That's okay. I seen him fight Jake Paul. He can't fight anymore.
I'm not Jake Paul. He's going to drop me like Phil Brew in front of
Are you eating? And I saw today, I don't know if it just happened or not, but London Comic Con tickets are now on sale. So I don't know if they were on sale before, but they are definitely on sale now. And if you know us, you know how much we like our London Comic Con. So tickets on sale September 13th and 14th. Same place, RBC Center in London. Thought there was talks. This is
last year at RBC.
I feel like we've been saying that for a couple of years in a row, but
that's fairly confirmed now. Yeah, Jake was saying that they are moving back over to the Agriplex in London, which is a much better venue for what we're doing. So,
yeah, okay. Last year at the RBC Center.
Christina, are all the geeks going to be at that Vaughn one? No, I will not, and neither will Miss Megan. I assume that Rob, JS, and Jen will. But Megan and I will actually be at the Fergus Highland Games. She's vending there, and I told her last year that I would help her vend there before I realized that VonCon was the same weekend. So if you're not going to be at VonCon and you happen to be in the Fergus area, come on out to the Highland Games. It's a good time. We're going to be there all weekend.
Yeah, Richard's going to be with us at VonCon.
Nice.
And I'm going to assume Andrew Saxon and Natasha are probably going to be with us as well. We're going to have a full house. Yeah.
And we're going to have a full house. I think Capes and Chaos are going to be there, and they usually have a ton of people. So there's going to be lots of people at that one.
Yeah, and
it's a fun one, too.
What are they called?
Brett the Hitman. Yeah, and if you're, by the way, guys,
Bret Hart.
Brett the Hitman Hart's going to be there too. So if you're like an old school wrestling fan, that's a big get.
That's a big one.
Yeah, he's the big attraction.
I think it's just on Sunday.
No, I believe he's there all weekend.
Is he all weekend?
There all weekend? Yeah.
Cool of them to get him though.
Cosplay for a cause. That's the name I was looking for. Cosplay for a cause.
Are they running the cosplay contest?
They're hosting the cosplay contests at VonCon. So that'll be interesting. If you're a cosplayer and you want to enter a cosplay contest, come and check it out. Cosplay for a cause. Yeah, they do a bunch of cosplay contests everywhere. So yeah, hoping this is a good one.
Hell yeah.
And that does it for the community news for this week. That's all I got. Community news is over.
I'm hoping Silky kind of clips that now and updates that intro. She was in the chat for a minute there earlier. She's at the kids' soccer game or soccer practice or whatnot. So
we summoned her earlier.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance. She just after we were talking about her, she came in, which is kind of funny. So hopefully she goes back and sees it.
Rewatches it. That's what everybody does, right?
Well, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, those views have to come from somewhere. So we got a new segment. We don't have an intro for it. I'm sorry. We have a new segment that we talked about last week, and we're calling Geek Debates, where from week to week, we're going to debate different subjects. And this week, I think, is a big one. Oh, there's Andrew Saxon. We summoned him. We were just talking about him, and he appeared in the chat. Jeff.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the one to let everybody know what this week's Geek Debate is about?
Oh, I would absolutely love to let everyone know what this week's Geek Debate is.
Or do you want to sing it?
I do not want to sing it. It's not happening. No,
you're already saying it, but that's okay.
Appreciate where you're going. Cast your mind back, friends, back to the 70s, in particular the 80s, when it got really heated. And if you had a group of friends, especially nerds and geeks like us, you had to pick. You couldn't be DC and Marvel. You couldn't be Coke and Pepsi. And you sure as shit couldn't be Star Wars and Star Trek. You had to choose, and you had to defend your choice. That's what we're doing here today, guys. Can you love both now? It's 2025. Can you love both? Absolutely, you can. And I feel like it's fair to say everybody here in the Geeks and Co. does love both. But it's like it's not like
clearly superior to the other.
Do you have siblings and your parents would lie to you and say, we don't have a favorite, we love you all equally? They lied to you. They're 100% one of them was the favorite. And let's be fair, it probably wasn't you. That's why you're in cosplay. I have 3 kids. I definitely have a favorite. And by the way, the other 2 know exactly who the favorite is. So this is the time, guys. Star Trek versus Star Wars. Don't make me choose. No. Sega and Nintendo not having it. You can do that now, guys. Stop. But today we are going to do it. We are going to get a little bipartisan here on the channel. Make your argument. Make your choice. Gun to your head. You have to choose one. Star Trek or Star Wars. Go.
And why?
Yeah, you have to make your argument. You can't just say blah and then just like fade out. Yeah. And the first one of you that says Andor is getting pimp slapped next time I see you, by the way. Don't make me choose. No, I am making you choose.
Yeah, I want the chat to chime in on this. Because
we're relying on you because we figured out the pre-show that we all think this. We've all made the same choice.
Yeah, we all figured in the pre-show that it's not an actual debate. They're one that is clearly superior and better to the other.
Which is interesting because I think if you would have looked at our cosplays, you would have assumed one, and your assumption would be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? We all have cosplays from the one thing. We don't all have cosplays from the other. Mm-hmm. We all spent more money on our cosplays from the one thing than we have from the other. Like it would be interesting looking at it from that lens. But at the end of the day, I mean, to cosplay Star Trek, you basically buy a shirt. Like, it's not difficult to cosplay Star Trek, but
Right.
there can be only. Oh, so here's our lovely member of the 501st and probably a bunch of other cults. Costume groups. There can be only one Star Wars, is Christina saying. No surprise at all that's where she's going with that. Hey, JS.
Yes.
I'm pointing a gun to your head. You must choose.
Yes. I am sorry to say that I have to disagree with Christina.
Don't be sorry.
I think that for me anyway, the clearly superior product is Star Trek. Now, again, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not telling you guys you're idiots because you prefer Star Wars over Star Trek. It's okay to be wrong. But, for me, it's really Star Trek, and I think for a lot of Trekkies, and I kind of got into it a little bit in the pre-show, the access to Star Trek was the gateway for everybody to fall in love with it. And what I mean by that is you could get Star Trek every day on space for you could get a different episode every day for like a whole year, right? That's how much Star Trek there is. There was literally for like 20 years Star Trek on TV every week, a new episode coming out, where for the longest time you had 3 Star Wars movies. So, not saying that in itself makes it better. I just feel like, for me anyway, being immersed into that world and becoming so close to those characters that I would see 26 times a year for 7 years before we move on to another set of characters that I would see 26 times a year for 7 years, and then so on and so forth for decades. Yeah, it's hard for me to not be more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars head.
Let's get some feedback from the comments. Star Wars. Tiffany saying Star Wars because it's faster paced and they find the plots easier to follow. Star Trek requires me to focus, which makes it difficult to watch more of. Can Geek Games, up until the release of the Next Generation, it was absolutely Star Wars, but by the time TNG came out, and with all the series that Star Trek dropped through the mid-90s, it was Star Trek.
Good point. Yeah.
Victoria, I've never seen Star Trek, and my username is the Dark Side. I don't have a real argument to make. Yes, you are.
Fair enough.
You were released from this for sure.
Fair enough.
Can Geek Games also saying at least up until the Star Wars prequels released. Deep Space Nine has some of the best storytelling in the 90s, says King Geek Games. I mean, your argument is shit, but I'll allow it.
Listen, that's not wrong. Deep Space Nine, if there was a period of time, especially during the Cardassian War or the Dominion Wars.
Sure. Well, the Cardassians were involved too. Andre saying, I don't mind Star Trek. I wouldn't even call myself a real Star Wars fan, but I do like it more. Tiffany once again saying Star Wars feels like there's more you can really do with it without having to be realistic. Not like Trek, it's realistic, but it's more than Star Wars. Star Trek is sci-fi Shakespeare. Yeah, and I think for me the argument is, so my choice is also Star Trek, and I think my argument for that is a little bit different from JS's, where Star Trek feels more like a possible future for mankind. Like, it feels like, because everything on Star Trek works theoretically, there's nothing unexplained in Star Trek. Everything, every technology, everything on the ship, the communicators, the transporters, the warp drive, everything is in theory mathematically possible to happen. It's an idyllic look at what humankind could become in the future if we get over our bullshit and get down to, one role, one species. Star Wars just feels like a soap opera to me in a lot of cases. Now, it's a brilliant soap opera and I love it. But it doesn't. Both can I have both? I'm greedy. No, Mike Lycon, you must choose. It came across more as like a fantasy series, and I love fantasy. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm sitting down to choose, let's be here. Star Trek does take place in our future, and Star Wars takes place in our past. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it's not even us, and it's not even in our time frame or in our possibilities. So I think that's what Star Trek always gave me, was a sense of hope that I don't get out of Star Wars. And I think that's what appealed to me most when I was watching it as a kid and then through my adulthood and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, look at you. Look at you, Kanky Games. This is a deep geek cut. Now, if we're going to compare Deep Space Nine to Babylon 5, that's a much different story. I agree. Because if you want to talk about storytelling, sir, yeah, you cannot discount Babylon 5, but we're not. That's the debate for another time. You know what? We'll have to write that one down, DS9 versus B5, even though there'll only be like 2 people commenting on that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Rob?
For me, it's also Trek, and really, it's a lot of the reasons that Jeff talked about. It's more Trek is more science fiction, where Star Wars, although it could be, it is science fiction, it's more fantasy. And it's interesting. Like I didn't think of the way you put it. Star Trek gave you hope, but you're right. It did give you more hope, but it's more grounded in reality. And it tackles the more science fiction-y stuff, which I'm really big into, right?
Right.
Trek has influenced real life technology.
Yeah, you go to the grocery store. Every time you go to the
Multiple
grocery store, you're like Star Trek, right? Like the fucking doors
Right.
open. And a lot of things about Star Trek, you're like, that how you just described the engineering of a warp drive, it makes sense. Like, and then the next thing you know, you're like, this is how they do it? Like, this is possible, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
They also tackle a lot of more like interesting topics, I think, like science, philosophy, time travel paradoxes, ethical dilemmas, like all kinds of things like that, right? So that's why I went Star Trek. It tickles my sci-fi brain a little bit more than Star Wars does. And I like fantasy too, but when it comes down to the sciencey space aspect of this, I lean more towards the Star Trek than the Wars. But you're right, like we all cosplay from Wars, and I think that lends more to, like, you see more probably. Obviously you see a lot more cosplay from Star Wars than you do Star Trek. Would you say?
Yeah, and
100%.
We can't. By the way, we're not making an argument that one is bigger. That it's very, very obvious that as a property and as an IP, Star Wars is clearly the more popular, the bigger IP, more recognizable IP than Star Trek. And as we said before, too,
For sure,
Star Trek cosplay usually just involves wearing a shirt. Now, that's not exclusively. Let's talk to our boy Richard here and his Borg cosplay. There are some more complex cosplays as far as Star Trek goes, but for the most part, you're going to grab a lot more eyeballs with an armored Star Trek build, right? Or Star Wars build, sorry. Like your Stormtrooper is going to get more than your Captain Kirk. You know what I mean? Like there's different.
Yeah.
But I feel like
there's nothing about it that makes me think, which I like.
Right.
Star Wars doesn't make me think. Star Trek makes me.
Star Wars is a good time. Star Trek will definitely get the brain cooking a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Tackling some moral dilemma, like you bet, or some hardcore political issue that shifted into science fiction so that we can talk about it. Like famously in the original series back in the 60s, they had the two races of people, and one was black on one side and white on the other, and the other race was white on one side and black on the other. They were opposites and they were fighting, and it was really talking about racial tensions and the civil rights movement in the 60s, but they just couldn't and say that. So they couched it in this science fiction thing, and not everybody got it, but those that got it went, so you can get away with telling these deep, deep stories without getting into the political recourse, the bipartisanship doing it by couching it in this science fiction universe. Something that Star Wars really hasn't had to do. And again, I'm sure there's been some instances here and there, but Star Wars is pirates in space. It's swashbuckling. It's I mean,
good versus evil.
Guns, there's ships, there's it's literally pirates in space. Yeah, good versus evil, exactly. So and that has its market. By the way, guys, we're not saying that Star Trek is fantastic and Star Wars is shit. We all love Star Wars too. Clearly, you've seen us all cosplay Star Wars. But if I'm picking, dude, I'm picking Trek every time. Which, by the way, let me tell you, my friends back in the 80s were dunking on me fucking hard for picking Star Trek over Star Wars, man. Like they were like,
nerd.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, because that's what it felt like. Like it does. Yeah. It's kind of like what Tiffany's alluding to. It does feel like Wars is a lot more accessible to the everyman, whereas Trek really appealed to. Remember getting your first computer and it had like a 2400 baud modem on it, and it was like a 4060.
Yeah, which is
if you were that guy, Trek was your thing, dude. Like 100% Trek was your thing because it appealed to you on that scientific level. Because, like Rob was saying, it's true science fiction. Like that's what it's really based on. It's very Asimov. It's very Arthur C. Clarke. Yes. Like that, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas Star Wars is nothing like that. It's just good swashbuckling hero's journey, good versus evil fun. So yeah, Star Wars is a cool Trek as a nerd. Yeah, Christina, absolutely. There's no question. But I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but lately it's pretty fucking cool to be a nerd. It's even cooler to be a geek. That's right. I don't know. Good debate though, guys. Good talk in there. You guys brought up some really, really solid points. I'm proud of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I mean, I think the real big difference in the two is, like you said, the morality of the stories in Trek versus Star Wars, which is, like you said, it's just swashbuckling pirates, right? Good versus evil, right? There's nothing that there's anything wrong with it, but there's every Star Trek episode had a moral to it, right?
Sure.
Star Wars was not about that.
No. The battle of good versus evil. There's still good in him. I can feel it. No, I am your father. Yeah, man. It's like a Mexican soap opera, dude. That's 100% what it is.
Yep.
And it stuck us all in, and it's amazing for doing so. And I guess that access argument is kind of, and I think that's why, like, I appreciate your argument now, but because of Disney Plus, the access argument is no more. Your generation, our generation, the access argument exists.
That's what I'm saying. Growing up, right? Like, you had 3 Star Wars movies, and like I said, hundreds of episodes, thousands of episodes of Star Trek.
But now,
yeah,
that playing field is a lot more even now, right?
It is
for sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
Growing up, I remember the Star Wars movies were always on the like the VHSs were always on the shelf, but you could come home from school and watch back to back Star Trek every day.
Yeah.
And get your fill from what you need. Like, you could only watch Star Wars so many times, right?
Yeah.
You could watch a new episode of Trek every week.
Yeah.
Were they all bangers? No, but when they were, ooh.
Oh yeah.
My goodness.
There was
that ending, the best of both worlds, part 1.
Yeah.
When that ended and Riker says fire and then it goes to black and it's like tune in for the conclusion or whatever.
And then you have to wait 3 months.
I had to wait a whole fucking summer to find out what was happening. To me, Star Wars has never touched that anticipation, what that felt like, how invested I got in those characters and in that story and on that ship. Yeah, Star Wars has never come close to that level of investment for it.
Yeah.
Star Wars is
yesterday's Enterprise.
Thousands and thousands of characters in the Star Wars universe. Everyone's got a name and it's great. And Christina's got a point. Star Wars is gritty and more real, and Trek is too polished. From how it looks on the outside, I could see what you're saying as far as that goes. But as far as being more real goes, I do feel Trek is the far more realistic of the two, right? Yeah. So Ice Pirates, oh my God. Ice Pirates is brilliant, by the way. I haven't watched Ice Pirates in a long time. It's another movie from our era. If you get a chance and you want to see like a good sort of sci-fi parody comedy, Space Herpes. That's all I'm going to say. Ice Pirates, brilliant. Go check it out if you haven't. It's great.
Space Herpes.
And guys, just remember too, it's funny how we're talking about here on this channel. Do you know how Comic-Cons got started?
Yeah, they were Trek conventions.
They were Star Trek conventions. They didn't have, well, I mean, I'm sure they had some Star Wars conventions. I don't know. But famously, Star Trek conventions is where this all started, because I was going to them back in the 90s, selling computer software, turning to my buddy in the dealer room while we were selling computer software, watching some guys in Klingon outfits walk by and go, I'm never fucking doing that. Look at
Losers.
I swear to God, I said this to this gentleman in 1997. Said, I'm never fucking doing that. And here I am. But anyways, this whole thing kind of started with Trek a little bit. And it does predate wars, right? Like Trek has been around since the 60s. Star Wars didn't come around to the 70s. But then Trek was like, oh, wow, you guys made a movie. That looks really good. Maybe we should make a movie too. And that's how Trek got into making movies too. Mm-hmm. Star Trek The Motion Picture was supposed to be Star Trek Phase 2, a television show. There was supposed to be an 80s TV Star Trek show. They built all these sets. They made all these costumes. Yeah. And then this little movie called Star Wars comes out in 1977 and makes $1 million.
Yeah, Paramount says, whoa.
They just took all the sets that they constructed. They took all the uniforms that they made, and they're like, we're making a movie instead. And they made Star Trek The Motion Picture. And even though that movie isn't great, it made $1 million too. So they just kept on making Star Trek films. So, yeah, dude, the two have influenced each other, right? There likely wouldn't be Star Wars without Star Trek, and there likely wouldn't be Star Trek movies and continuance without Star Wars. So,
no, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Marcy, so wholesome. I love it. I was a Star Wars fan since the 80s, but after starting to watch Star Trek shows, I'm pretty hooked now. Good.
There you go.
Right? And once you get into it, I did this to poor Megan. When I met editor Megan, she was Star Wars through and through. She had not watched any Star Trek. I was like, just check out The Next Generation. Just start with that and see where you're at. And now that bitch is hooked. She is.
She's watched it all now, hasn't she?
I'm sure she would. Yes, I'm sure she would still. No, she hasn't watched Lower Decks because she's got a thing with animated comedy. I know, dude. I tried. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. I know it's sad. It's the saddest point in my life. But
it's potentially one of like my top 3 Star
brother,
Trek.
I don't know what to tell you. But
maybe top 2.
Yes, I feel like I'm too young to being pulled into Star Trek stuff. Cool, Victoria. Then watch the new stuff. Watch the new Trek stuff. Watch Discovery. Of course, don't listen to JS. Watch Discovery. Watch Lower Decks. Watch Strange New Worlds. You don't have to have all of the background. Honestly, I tell this to people all the time. If you want to introduce someone new and young to Star Trek, I would have initially said TNG, but I would probably say Strange New Worlds now.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really good.
And it's accessible, I feel like, too, right? And the people on the show.
26 episode per season for 7 years, right?
No. So, yeah, if you're not into Trek, hey, man, that's okay. I've actually submitted a panel idea called A Brief History of Trek to run at Fan Expo. And I should actually be hearing pretty soon whether or not it's going to get approved. And it's going to take, it's just a 25 slide presentation of Star Trek from 1966 all the way up to present day, anything that's appeared on screen. Not short treks, not the comics, not the books, but just movies and TV shows that have gone through, hopefully to give people that are not into Trek sort of like a basis of what, oh, maybe I should jump in here, or, oh, I didn't even know that existed. That's cool. Maybe I'll check that out. We're going to do that. I put his name on there too. So we'll see if we get approved or not. When I got the response back from Fan Expo saying, thank you for your submission, it did say live long and prosper at the bottom. So I'm really, really hoping that means I've got it all set up I've got to add music, but I do have it all set up in Canva now. So
25 minutes, was it?
You get 45 minutes and there's 25 slides in the panel. So we can't even do 2 minutes per panel. So it's literally,
I was going to say, you're having you two on there, right?
It's like an overview, essentially. We're not going to get deep into any of it. If it ends up being him and I, and we do get it, I'll just figure we'll just go back and forth for each slide. Yeah. And then we'll take some questions at the end. But where do I find Strange New Worlds? It's a great show. Where is it streaming up here? I know
it is on Paramount Plus. It's also on Bell Media or the Bell 5 or whatever the Bell app is.
Crave? Is it on Crave?
No, I don't think it's on Crave anymore.
Oh. Boo.
No, it's not on Crave anymore because it's now on Paramount Plus.
Oh, right.
Ever since Paramount Plus came along, they're streaming all of the Star Trek there. But if you have Bell, you can stream shows off of their app, and that's one of the shows you can stream.
Hey,
by the way, wait for it to play.
If you do have Bell, you can also
have a show coming out.
You can also see A Long Ride Home next year, 2026. We are filming it now, guys. So if you do have Bell, I encourage you to please watch A Long Ride Home because we'd like to get picked up for a second season. So,
wait, if we do a history of Trek, are you going to do it as Bill Shatner?
I certainly could if that's what you want me to do. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I do have to find a way to export it so I can add music to it and all that kind of jazz. But it's 26. It's 20. There's a presentation one and then an end one, but it is 26 slides. So yeah, we're gonna have to
maybe that should be an episode of the podcast if that doesn't get approved.
I agree. Rob's like, please no, but yes, absolutely for sure, we gotta do that.
I'll just do something else that week.
He's like, I'm busy.
Rob's like, I'm not going to be there that week.
Yeah. Enjoy, you fucking nerds.
Guys, if you're still sticking around, I think we've lost most of the people here watching.
Of course, we spent some time talking about Star Trek.
But the minute we start talking about Trek, boom, it explodes. Which is funny because when we start talking shit about Trek, our videos just go bonkers.
Well, yours do because you're the one talking shit about Trek, about one fucking show. Yeah.
Discovery. Okay, Discovery shit. What can I say? It's
not shit. Go check it out. As Captain Daddy. Funny. That, you know what? Why haven't we done a video where it's you and I debating Discovery? I don't know why we haven't done that yet for YouTube.
I mean, we could.
I don't know. I can't believe we haven't.
I mean, I feel like it's too late now. It was so shit. I don't remember happening anymore. Right? Like if we had done it like just after season 5 ended, Yeah.
Guys, it's been fun.
Geeks and Go should do a nerdy roasts. Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea actually.
People are sensitive though. I don't know if that would work out. Unless we're roasting each other, then we're fine.
No, we're roasting nerdy things, right? Like we're roasting Star Trek and we're roasting Star Wars. And
well, he doesn't need any help roasting Star Trek. He seems to love doing that. So
who,
the
me?
What is the most viewed video on our channel, dude?
Yeah, it's me shit talking about
jumping on Discovery. Yeah, don't say who me. Obviously, it's
by a lot, by a long
shot. See, you'll both have to rewatch Discovery and the debate. I would love to rewatch Discovery.
Ew, I'm not.
I enjoyed it.
Sorry, I don't have that kind of time. I'm sorry.
I don't have that kind of time.
That's
okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's just bonkers.
Post August 15th, you're gonna have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Haven't I even announced it yet? I don't think I've announced it.
Well, we mentioned it, I think, last week, and you were like, no, it's too early. I don't want to do it yet, blah, blah, blah. So are you ready to tell 13 people that you're...
It's official now, yeah. You know, everybody knows that, you know, me and Jen have been trying to sell our houses, which are now both sold, and we've also bought a house.
Woo!
So, thank you. And as you can see, this is why I'm back at Jen's, because my house is now empty. So August 15th we get the keys and we're moving in, you know, 17th, 18th, 19th.
Apparently you got someone that feels as you do. Rewatch Discovery or watch Bird Shit Dry. That's a tough one. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Congratulations, JS. Everybody, give her boy congratulations.
Thank you. We're pretty stoked, and it's got an unfinished basement, so I've got all the room in the fucking world for a massive prop shop.
Does Jen know this? That you're basically taking over the whole basement as the prop shop, brother? This is going out live on. What do you mean, shush? What are you doing?
It's okay. You said it. She won't see this.
She won't. She doesn't watch them. That's fine.
She's watching now upstairs.
Yeah. You're so dead.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get my workshop back up and running.
Like completely unfinished, like no framing, no studs, no rough ends, nothing. Like it's just a big empty space.
Basically, it's got insulation in, and that's it.
And that's it. Okay. You can do so much with that, dude.
Yeah, it's got insulation, it's got power, and it's got lights.
Is there a window?
There's windows all around. Yeah.
So you could vent out. You could have a paint booth. You could vent it out. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
That was kind of one of the big things for me is wanting an unfinished basement specifically.
Well, here you get 25% max, says producer Jen.
You get a 10 by 10 square. That's it.
Here's your corner, bitch. Enjoy.
It's right next to the laundry machine.
Angry reaction. I thought it was gonna be more like, 25%. Yeah, all right, Jen. Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Congrats, Jen. Yeah, congrats to you both. Yeah, because you guys are like a merged family, right?
We are.
Like she's got her two, you've got your two, and yeah.
So you know, it's for years, man. We've been living in two houses.
That's a lot.
And I want to say for the last probably 2 years, we're either here or we're at my house, right? So. We're literally just paying 2 mortgages and 2 water bills and 2 power bills and for nothing, right? So for 2 houses that are too small for our 2 families, right? So yeah, it's gonna be nice to just all be together.
Big steppers. So you guys listed your place first.
Yeah.
You moved into Jen's.
Correct.
Your place sold.
Correct.
You then listed her place.
Correct.
Moved back into your house.
Correct.
And then her place sold.
Her place sold in 4 days.
And now you're back at her place?
Yeah, because mine's closing next week.
Yours is done. Right.
Yeah.
So you've moved how many times in the last 2 months?
Too many. 3 times, 4 times. Right. Holy.
So to be fair, what we did is we mostly emptied both houses. And it all went to storage. And we kept only the basics. As well as specific things that our stager said, keep those things. I'm going to use them with the staging, right? My couch, my dining room table, the beds, things like that, right? So some of the major furniture stayed. Everything else was gone and in storage.
Yeah.
So when we came here, we literally just picked up our bags and our clothes and moved here, right? For a couple weeks, 6 weeks, or 5 weeks, 5 weeks while my house was selling.
Right.
And then once it's sold, we moved back to my house and then staged this house. Same type of idea. It was now pretty much empty, except for a few things that the stager wanted. But this last weekend, we literally emptied the house. Everything that was left over had to either come here or go in storage or whatnot. So it's been an exhausting 6 months. I'm not gonna lie, maybe not 6 months. I mean, since February, end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
And we did it pretty much all ourselves. So it's been something.
But it's almost over.
We've had help here and there. I shouldn't say that. We've had help here and there, but for the most part, yeah, it was me and Jen. So,
well, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, Jen's saying my back hurts. Yeah.
So when's the housewarming party? When do we all get together and get shit faced and silly?
Well, I mean, we're gonna be in there Fan Expo weekend. Now we may not be settled in, but we're gonna be moved in Fan Expo weekend. So I'm hoping some of you guys are gonna make the trip out to the Schwa. I want to say Curtis because I'm still kind of technically right borderline Curtis.
Yeah, but you're on the other side of the border, though, right?
I am on the other side of the border. I'm
the dirty Schwa. Look at this one. Schwa. This one down here. He's like, not Curtis no more. It's not.
Yeah.
Now
town line is the line between Oshawa and Curtis. And
do you know why there's a line? There's a line to denote.
We tried to get a fence, but we couldn't get a.
That's right. Now you're on the dirty side, and you just have to live with that, man. You just gotta, Sorry, dude.
What are you gonna do?
Be a dirty Schwa guy, I guess. Moving forward.
I'm a Schwawin.
Schwananian.
Terrible. Why don't you take us out of this train wreck podcast?
Yeah,
I think we're good. I think we're just burned in the air now, yelling.
Guys, if you're still watching us, thank you so much. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. To click the notification bell, it'll always let you know anytime we go live or upload a new video. If you've not clicked the like button, please do. It helps propagate these videos through the YouTube sphere. And if you're not, subscribe. What are you doing? Give us a subscribe. It's 100% free. It really helps us out. Any parting words? Doesn't look like it.
Check out Long Ride Home next year on Bell 5.
There you go. Long Ride Home. 2026. Bell 5. We don't know the date, but that's okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you stay geeky. We'll see you next. We'll see you next week with a special guest.
We will.
Indeed.
See you there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.